Howdy YouTubers, this is Tim Shop back with another video. So this video is going to be about the best transmission for your VW sandrail. Why am I even coming up with this? So these sandrails and dune buggies that came from the 60s and 70s, they had Volkswagen engines and transmissions installed because of the certain layout. In a sandrail dune buggy, you want the engine and transmission to be in the back, and Volkswagens provided exactly that. Volkswagens had the engine in the back, the transmission was pointing forward, it was rear-wheel drive also. That's perfect for a sandrail. You need rear-wheel drive and you need all the weight in the back. The problem is that Volkswagen transmissions can't handle a lot of power. The first Volkswagens that ever came out with around 30 horsepower. My certain transmission is a bus transmission, and it comes from 76 through 79 Volkswagen bus. That bus had 70 horsepower. That is literally nothing. If I were driving on the street with my 125 horsepower Corolla engine, it would have been okay. But in this case, the sandrail and dune buggy has twice as much stress on the engine and transmission because of the sand. It's just like walking in the sand. You get super tired of walking in the sand. Imagine driving. Imagine how much stress is going through the transmission and the engine. You might say, why don't you just build your transmission or have someone build it? Well, I can, and I know someone who can build it, but it's going to cost anywhere from $3,500 and up. People pay that much money to build their transmissions. They might be able to handle, but you still need to refresh them and pull them apart in a while. I don't want to do that. That's expensive. So minimum there would be $3,500 just to get a transmission. There are other transmission options, Porsche, but they're not much stronger. There's also a Mendiola, which is super expensive. They start around $5,000 and they only go up. And the best, as far as price goes and reliability, drum roll please, Subaru. Yeah, you heard me right. But Tim, their transmissions are all-wheel drive, and their engines are pointed forward and their transmissions pointed backwards. Well, there is a company in Australia who thought all this through and created a conversion kit for certain Subaru transmissions. So if you were planning to keep the same layout in your sandrail and change it to a Subaru transmission, you would install this conversion kit, which makes it have 5 forward gears and 1 reverse gear. If you were not to install a conversion kit into a Subaru transmission and slap it onto a sandrail, you'd have 5 reverse gears and 1 forward gear, because that transmission was normally pointed forward instead of backwards. So you need to put in the conversion kit, which includes a ring gear, and that ring gear is backwards. So you mount it backwards in there, and you put the case back together, and you slap it on the sandrail, and it acts as a 2-wheel drive for your sandrail. This is of course still expensive, but cheaper than any other option. The problem is that you need to find an adapter for your certain engine to a Subaru transmission, and that's what I'm currently working on. So why else did I choose it? Well, I'm choosing a WRX transmission that was bolted to a turbo engine, meaning it has bigger gears and stronger internals. My 125 horsepower Corolla engine plus the stress from the sand will make it as if the transmission was already handling factory Subaru Impreza WRX power, and that's around 225 and up. That is why I think it's the best transmission option for VW sandrail or dune buggy. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe.
Thank you.